approaches and has a hit. Jack McGlynn! That is an absolute banger to draw this game level.
What is up? We're here. We're ready. Appreciate everyone joining. A little bit later than usual, but had some nighttime issues for sure. All right. Kind of getting caught up here. Still setting up some things. So as you're coming in, say what's up. We'll talk as we're kind of going through things. We'll get into the short slate. So a little bit extra time. I just got to post the links to the feed and get going that way. So just give me a second to get going. Say what's up in the comments as you're coming in. I'll definitely read every one of them. Throw this link on Twitter real quick. Never mind. It's already up there. Don't need it. Okay, perfect. All right, automatically. All right. We're good. Ronan, what's happening? Good to see you. I can't believe Portland went back to Corpo last week. Yeah, it was weird because he was leaving for Canada. Coach did say he was going to play like Wednesday or Saturday. I should have, I think I went 60-40 looking back on it. I don't know. I know it's way up expecting a decent showing. Gotcha. Balot. Howdy. Yeah, no challenger. This is the weirdest. Yeah, a couple teams playing. We only have 4 games. Pretty brutal. Not ideal situation. If you're watching over on Twitter, hop in if you have any questions. As we're going to go through here, the Server Inside website, my lineup predictions are on there now. So that's what we're looking at now. Let's see. Is that better? Sure. And you can find them on here. It's just kind of what Server Inside, instead of going to the Discord and going through, basically going to go through here and you can see the lineups for each one. So if you're looking for any other teams as they're posted and updated here, tells you when it was updated, all that good stuff. One thing maybe I'd like to see down the road is, a drop down for like, okay, I'm just looking at MLS and look at MLS. So that would be nice. Yeah, Roden, 8 players away. They have 9 for international duty. Minnesota has 9 international. So you might as well just start there. Lewis, what's happening? Good to see you in the building. So a nice thing about these lineups is you can kind of see everything hopefully you can. But then I gave some notes on each one as well. It's Hershey. Welcome in. What's happening? Good to see you. So we might as well start with Minnesota. Take a look. Yeah, especially club badges on. Just needs filter and even linking server account to filter for players you have. Yeah, that's definitely in the mix. This is kind of like a shell. The guys that have been working on this site have been on it. The guy who made the lineup builder has been on it 24/7. And any feedback that like the public has, he's been really good about making it easier on our end as well. So I do like the notes being like one thing with Play Sharper is like the notes were there, but like if you look at the lineup, you have to look at the notes. So that's one thing that I really like here. So like the questions that I get in the Discord, I still get a ton, which is fine. You can ask me, but it does get frustrating whenever you didn't clearly look at the lineup. So like I tried to list everything that was here. So Minnesota has 9 players. If you look here on international duty, starting goalie, Rosales, see, Arriaga has been starting. Robin Lode, Pookie, and OSA are all out. But that kind of makes it better for some of these different players to come into the lineup. So one big key piece of information, and I don't know why he picked this week to do it, but it's the second one here. Miguel Tapias is getting his green card in Mexico. And they said that he probably won't be back in time to, go through the regular reps to be a starter, but he could see time off the bench. They need him. Will they go with this formation? I don't know. But that's a big what if. It doesn't seem likely that it'll play. So if they go 3 in the back, Padelford, pretty safe here. I have it 90% total, just based on how he's played before and filling in. Victor Erickson, they've said he's not ready to play. That was, months ago, but he came not really prepared, which is pretty brutal. I think that Bacharach, or however you say it, he would be the guy that they'd want to start, but he's coming back from injury. So he's been coming back from a knee injury. He's played time, but they've wanted to see him with the second team, but he might be forced into some action today. On Saturday. And then Max Duggan's the other one. Or Max Duggan? I don't think that's right. Max Duggan's a quarterback. Yeah, that's definitely not his first name. What's Duggan's first name? I think he was Morris Duggan. Morris Duggan. So Morris, if you're watching, I apologize. Blot, not MLS related. Do you have any info if Messi plays the upcoming friendlies? I don't know anything about Messi, but Herrera was back with DC getting a rehab for whatever happened, the injury that he had. So Herrera shouldn't be in there. That's for sure. Have you got a RotoWire article out on the team's power percent? Didn't get any notice for it. Yeah, there is a RotoWire article out there. If you type in RotoWire, they have some Euro stuff going on that obviously takes precedence over a 4-match slate. But if you go on RotoWire, then click soccer. Or if you go on my Twitter, I did post it, the link to it. So, yes, you should see it. There's an interesting Clint Irwin's on it. Spoiler alert. There's some interesting names on there. It was actually pretty fun to put together just because there's a small sample size to choose from and some guys that I have not written about. That's for sure. So that's always nice. Mix it up a little bit. As bad as things are with all these guys out, I think it opens up some opportunities though. Up top, Jordan Adebayo-Smith. He missed some time with injury, but he has, if we go over to here, he has started before. With a second team. He has 5 sub appearances off the bench. It's tough. He's kind of like the only option left over. Although like Sang-Bin could play striker in that number 9 position-ish. And then people could rotate around a little bit, but this kind of makes the most sense based on all the information we have. Caden Clark's come back from a toe injury. He should be good to go. He's been training. Hamstring for Taylor. He hasn't been training. So that I know I'm 40%. It might be even lower on that. DJ Taylor shouldn't be in there. Dante Vanzier got to be happy. Yeah. I mean, him and Manuel, whenever he gets to the Red Bulls, are pretty much locked in. I'd be shocked unless like Julian Hall gets a surprise start. But yeah. Portland might be getting cooked. I think it just might be a high scoring game. St. Louis hasn't been great by any means. Evander will still score well. So a little bit tricky there. But based on this, so we got Minnesota United. I'm going to go kind of game by game. And actually, let's bring up server data and let's go through the games and just kind of go this order. Kind of switch it up a little bit. I mean, there's only 4 games to talk about. Pretty straightforward for Saturday. And then MLS to kind of go through some of them. So I know we skipped to the bottom here, but we'll go with that. I have other goalkeepers, so might not even play Patemis. May just use Evander, Mora, Moreno, and Pray. Yeah. I might have a goalkeeper that starts elsewhere, but I don't have any MLS goalkeepers playing out of these 8 teams. I don't have any of the goalies from them. So when I get to my builds, it's not going to be pretty. I have like Osaka from Japan. He didn't start the first friendly, so there's a chance he starts the second. But I don't know. What does everyone feel about the friendlies? I kind of had a midweek lineup that had 0 chance of really getting anything. So like I just kind of threw it out there, but I knew that I wouldn't get 5 starters or anything like that. I don't have a goalkeeper for Euros. So like the Euro competition, I want to play really bad, but I don't want to buy a goalie at the rare division. So what do you guys think about the friendly coverage? I think it's great to have extra utility, but like it just doesn't really do anything for me. Like I don't follow it enough that like the friendlies, like there's so much rotation. People play like come off at halftime. There's unlimited subs at a lot of them. There's just too many kind of outlier, kind of weird things that go on. Is there going to be opta coverage? Like you have some of these ridiculous games that, I mean, there's probably no way that you gets opta coverage, but I have a lot of the CONCACAF goalkeepers. They've let you down. Better matchups this weekend. Nice. Lewis, not a fan. I understand. Yeah, I understand why they did it too, but coverage and it's chaos. Yeah. It's you're gonna have so many DNPs and lineups. Like it's gonna frustrate everyone so bad that I think you're gonna have a lot of negatives about it. But you get extra coverage, and I think it's good leading up to the Euros. Like the Euros is gonna be awesome. All the competitions, everything like that. Just in general, like not Sorare speaking, I love the big competitions, the Euros, Copa America, and then we have the Olympics. I might be like more excited. I'm not more excited, but I love the Olympics, like the under 23 aspect, the couple overage players. I just love to see some of these stars break out. But same thing with Euros. You know, you have stars breaking out, and it's a lot of fun. So we did Minnesota. There was a point I was watching Suriname. I was like, what was I doing? Yeah. That's I saw a list of, because I was going to play Rivals today, and I saw a list of the matches, and I'm just like, just looking at one of these matches, I don't know if I could name a single player out of like 10 straight matches. And I'm not the best at like worldwide knowledge, but pretty tough. I really wish I could do some Olympic scouting. I have a lot of America under 23s. I just don't know about goalkeepers in other nations. Yeah, that's tough. Narky, what's happening? Why are there only 4? It's MLS. I don't know why they do these things. They play through international breaks. They always do. A lot of the times it's a full slate. We only have a 4-match kind of island game week, which is odd. It doesn't always happen like this, but it's definitely odd to say the least. So we did Minnesota United. Let's go to Dallas. Dallas benefits from having no one important, honestly. Nolan Norris has been good, and Carl Saint have been good as well. They're both out. And then the guys that have been out all year. So this is kind of the best squad really that they've had, which is good. And they're playing a Minnesota team that is missing a lot of guys, which is good. But can you trust Dallas? That was kind of whenever I was writing the article. Can you trust Dallas? And my initial answer is no, you can't. Martin Pies did not go with Indonesia, so he's dealing with some like naturalization paperwork or something like that. The kind of translated thing that I saw is if Indonesia makes the next round of FIFA World Cup qualifying, he should be available for then. So Pies is still around. Same back 3. Nkosi Tafari is coming back from the red card. He should slide right back in. Mar Gonzalez back to the bench. Farfan, pretty straightforward. I think the Sealy experiment's done. We don't have to worry about that anymore. Central mid combo, 80% of both should be. The wild card that I don't have in the starting lineup here is Patrickson Delgado. He's been good. It's just last match he wasn't great. I have him at 40%, so he could play either position here or that left wing. But you're going to have Jesus Ferreira, who is due to have another injury soon. Let's not say that. I bought him because as far as under 23 forwards, there's really nothing that is like an elite option in the summer. So I bought a Jesus Ferreira at the beginning of the season because he was going to be that option. I've barely been able to use him. It's been very frustrating. So hopefully he doesn't get injured again. It's just been really frustrating. I also have Alan Velasco, so I'm hoping to see him back maybe late July, maybe. Hopeful thinking. So that'd be interesting. Musa, and then the position is really tossed up. So Tuamasi and Ariola can both play that right wing back. Ariola has played that before. So I do have Ariola at 75%. He didn't start last match, but he should be back in the lineup as far as kind of what I've seen. Kamungo hasn't been a starter. He's I don't know. Last season, he was really electric. This season, he's had his time. it just, I don't know. And then Sebastian Lletget is back, but again, 40%. There's a lot of kind of moving pieces that could come around, but we'll see. Catch up on chat a little bit. Hey, Ricardo, good to see you. Hear from you. Facundo Torres, is he going to stay at the full Copa America? As of now, there's still time for them to cut down rosters. Like Euro's deadline is tomorrow, I believe, but Copa America starts, a week after? So they still have their preliminary squads, which is interesting. Is there any reason why St. Louis got such good odds? I get they're at home, but their table form doesn't look crazy. Yeah. With the short sample here of games, they're a solid favorite. Portland on the road has not been great, but they're in a good run of form. Last year, City Park was just unbelievable. St. Louis was pretty much unbeatable at home. That hasn't been the same, but they kind of don't really lose anyone. We'll get to them. They lose one player to international duty. They do have two kind of key injuries, but a lot of signs with Portland. They're missing their goalkeeper. They're missing. They got two center backs that are out. There's just kind of, I don't know. If this was played like in a normal situation, I think the odds would be pretty close to the same. You'll see in MLS home teams are inflated, and I do agree with that. But you will have road teams winning. You're counting on them to hit big. I probably will be too, in the only lineup I can field. Yeah. Bakrar, whenever he's injured, he's been a stinker. I can't believe he got called up with Algeria. I just didn't I didn't even think he'd be in contention with his poor form. Results did me dirty with Honduras. Thought he was one of the starts. Yeah, friendlies, man. And no one knows who's going to start in friendlies. Portland shipping 6, but will score 8. Love it. So yeah, I think there's a few toss-ups in this lineup. If there's ever going to be a time, it's going to be here. But it's tough to play at Allianz Stadium or Field, whichever one they call it. In that Wonder Wall, there's something magical in Minnesota. It doesn't really matter who they're playing. Just heat what's happening. City better win big. Big 6-point swing out for grabs. Yeah, I am backing St. Louis City to win. I do agree with the odds, even though it's usually like a little bit inflated, but I do like it there. So that's that matchup. We'll go back to the top. No, we've been talking about St. Louis City. Let's go bottom up. St. Louis City up next, because I do want to talk about things. And with City fans in here, I talked with Andy Black a little bit about this, because, if I'm going to have ideas and kind of look at things, he's a big City fan. So just kind of what I bounced off him. This is what I would do. And sometimes lineup predictions isn't what I would do. It should be a little bit different. So we'll hear what some of you guys have to say about it. But Kyle Hebert, he got called up. I just don't understand that, but whatever. He got called up, so he's the only one missing. Ostrak is out with his ankle. He's out for the season. And Rasmus Alm is out 6 to 8 weeks with a knee injury. Last match, he left early. So he's out 6 to 8 weeks. And so that opens up a key point. So they've been running a 4-2-3-1. A lot of pieces are pretty set, in my opinion. A couple that you might see, maybe 1 or 2 changes, but the big ones here are Vasilev and Loven, however you want to say it. Vasilev usually plays the 10. Okay, so he can play the left or right side, but he's been playing the 10 all season. Loven usually plays centrally in maybe like double pivot, something like that. And then you have Durkin and Blom can play this kind of more holding positions. So if you look here, let's go to St. Louis and let's look at the minutes. I know he's coming back from injury, but the amount that they're asking Loven to do, 82 minutes last match was nice. It's good to see. But before that, 82, yeah, he can play it. Like, it's not like he can't play 90 minutes. But honestly, if he wasn't asked to do as much defensively, I think it would help him out, for one, and get him in better positions forward on the pitch. And also playing those two kind of more defensive-minded guys back here instead of having him as one, it kind of just opens up this front four to have a lot more freedom. And at home, I feel like last year, I know they played with Giacchini up top as well, so it was kind of a little bit different. But Pompeo has been solid, and I think Lowen, him getting into better areas and playing more forward makes a lot of sense. So that's why I listed him as Cam. He played it like twice last season. He has played it before. It's been here or there. But if he isn't starting there, it's going to be Vasilev. And then Kajima came on for Alm right away. So that's kind of my thinking. Here we go. Just Heat. I've been dying to play further forward. Oh, okay. He prefers playing the 6, though. Wow, I wouldn't have expected that. That's good insight. Thank you. It's always nice to hear from from actual fans that watch it more than, because like it's impossible to watch every match, obviously. But just kind of my thinking and getting the personnel out there that makes sense. I don't know. This is what I would go with. I would really like to see this and see what they can do, especially in this matchup. But we'll see how it goes. I was going to say, why is this like brightening my eyes? I'm like, I know there's a button here that makes that a lot better. So hopefully that's more visually stimulating. But other than that, there's pretty straightforward, like at every position. If you read my RotoWire article, if you haven't, check it out. I do like St. Louis. Loven is pretty much on all sets. I think he's going to have an assist. I think Klaus is going to score. Klaus is the most likely goal scorer based on implied odds this game week. So I do have some St. Louis love. Picaments, what's happening? Wild with so many few matches. Yeah, it could be pretty wild. Just with it'd be nice if Challengers was open, but I guess we're going to play in Captain All-Star and try and take on the international friendlies, which is kind of annoying. Only two, I guess only one match away, 10 licensed teams. But yeah, it would be nice. It's going to be wild. And as we talked about, St. Louis is going to play Portland. So Portland, just a couple kind of interesting things. So one tidbit that I don't think has been like around or anything, like I haven't seen it other than like maybe the beat writer said about it, but Diego Char is suspended due to yellow card accumulation. It's not like in any news anywhere. I had it on my sheet as he was 1 away. He got a yellow last match. The beat writer reported it, but other than that, it is on the MLS website, like that he was 1 away. But like in Opta or anything like that, so like on server data, he wasn't listed. So I think Opta is just behind on that. So just be careful if you have him. He is out unless something happens that I haven't seen, which I would doubt it. But as I said, Crepeau, Kamal Miller, and Arujo are all out on international duty. So who does that bring back? Zach McGraw. Boy, he couldn't be further away from the team, and now he's forced back into a starting position. The only way, I know I have him at 90%. They literally only have 2 center backs that can play. The only way would be if they played 3 in the back and they played like Eric Miller as one of the outside center backs. That's kind of the only way that he wouldn't be in the lineup, which could happen, but it just kind of makes sense to have at least 2 center backs in there. But yeah, we'll see on that. Ayala, he's getting some time. He has a ton of upside. I don't know if his like so rare scores kind of speak to how good of an actual player he is, but he has a lot of upside. Paredes, I think it'll be him. Eric Williamson could be the option also. He just seems to be out of favor. Evander should have a big week. It doesn't really matter what the matchup is, and City Park is tough to play, but he's just been absolutely insane. If you don't know, and again, read my article on RotoWire, but he has been so good. Look at that form. Even when he doesn't score, yeah, kind of crazy. He's been, every match he's started, he's been on a tear. So that's crazy. Evander's had such a good year. That's one that I wanted to buy in the off season. No, he'll get cheaper. Nope. And then whenever he's injured, should have bought, still didn't. He's been good, Ayala. Hoping to see more. He'll score better when Char retires and the defense improves. Yeah, I agree with that for sure. He's one. Let's check his price, actually. Just curious. He should be pretty cheap. Limited, couple bucks. What's the rare looking? Yeah, like $15. But he doesn't score too well in that role. You know, he had an assist. He has some nice AA. I mean, this in 28 minutes, 17.6 AA. That's great. But I think his upside's pretty capped. But he is kind of getting back into form. He missed all last season with an injury, so he's kind of coming into his own. He's only 21. He's one to watch for sure, and he's probably a better real life player than an actual server player. On that Gald run, must be a Cascadia thing. Yeah, Gald has been scorching hot as well. It's great to see. Great to see. I don't own either player, but it's great to see. Then the injuries, Mabiala should be out with an upper body, and Loria left knee. He's close to returning though. He's been out forever. Shane Williamson came back, and then he had a great first match, and boy, Portland looked so good. What was that 4-1 match at home? They're firing up the chainsaw. Pretty hysterical to say the least. But yeah, he just kind of fallen out of favor, and he doesn't really fit in. Like, he is kind of an attacking, but he can play an 8 role. But it's just kind of, they don't favor him right now. Coaches just don't favor him. He comes off the bench a lot, but tough for him. All right, let's keep moving up. Sporting Kansas City, yikes. Alex's team and the Sounders, Seattle. Seattle's actually doing a little bit better. Let's go to Sporting Kansas City because this is an absolute mess. We see a lot of orange out here. I'm going to be flat out. I just don't know. If you read this, seems to be trying to get fired. So Shallowy, Polito, Johnny Russell, Funtas, all these guys have not played the last 2 matches. So again, I have them in the starting lineup. Could they play? We don't know. But something's got to give. Like, does he want to get fired? He's playing these guys who are clearly not as good. Like, no offense to the talent level of any of these guys. They're not as good as Daniel Shalhoub, Polito, Russell up front. You know, you don't want Vargas on the right wing. Willie Agata's okay. He's okay. Then what? Afrifa played for Shalhoub. Like, that, it just doesn't make sense. Yeah. That lineup against the Whitecaps was so bad. Yeah, it's just, what do you expect is going to happen? It just, I'm tempted to try Shu in under 23. Nothing to lose. Don't have. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I would think it would be Melia, but Vermes is an idiot, so who knows? It's Hershey. Yeah, you're right on. Jake Davis is a baller. Yeah. Having 90% and this is 80 here. The extra 10's up here. I'd say Memo Rodriguez is pretty nailed. Felipe Hernandez, there's just not really anyone else unless like Tommy magically can play. Tommy trained today, but hamstring injury, I just don't see him starting. Could he? Sure, but that's like the only outlier that Felipe Hernandez wouldn't start. Radoja, set starter. And then the back line. So it is a true coin flip, in my opinion, with Tim Leibold and Basong. Tim Leibold hasn't started. It's a mess. You would think he would start, but based on what they've been doing lately, we just don't know. Castellanos seems like he's going to start, but the big news was Daniel Rosero didn't train due to fatigue. Today. So he said he could be available for Saturday. What do we read into that? I don't know. Like, it's Thursday. They would have been training all week. Like, I get it, but fatigue? Like, are they going to shut him down for a little bit? Is he like injury prone? Like, what's going on here? So I did drop him from the starting lineup. I put Funtas there because he can play either left side or right side as a center back. But is it Funtas season? Like, they haven't been playing him. There's just a lot of question marks. So you see a lot of toss-ups as a lineup predictor. You don't like to show toss-ups because it's not great. But and as Just Heat says, I'd be fatigued too if I had to deal with Burmese. Yes, that is the comment. So if you can read into the situations better than me, you probably can. I don't see a way that you don't start Shallowy, Polito, Russell up front. If you're actually playing for your life as a coach and you don't actually want to be fired, you would put your best 11 out there. I know he's really knocked some of these guys, but I don't know, man. They did have a bad start last season. Then they reeled off like 9 straight or whatever it was, and made that shocking win over St. Louis. But like this year, I think everyone's done with them. Star players just need to pull a Reynoso. Yeah, are we talking U.S. Reynoso or Argentinian Reynoso? Because he does some shady stuff in Argentina. Man, yeah, that's tough. And then they are playing Seattle, so Seattle are a little bit more straightforward. I think the only kind of Sir Joel, how we doing? I would have thought like 3 matches ago. So I have no idea. I know he's been there a while. It's just he's terrible. I don't have an answer to that one. The internationals, Nuhu Tolo is the big one. He'll be out at left back, so should be Cody Baker. Reed Baker Whiting is kind of the upside guy. Like, could they give him a start here? Sure. 35% on him, but it should be Cody Baker on the left. One piece of information I didn't write in here, but Yamar Gomez was dealing with a family issue. He's back training today. He's going to be ready for Saturday, coach said. Schmetzer said, so that's good to know, kind of going into it, that he's good to go. It should be Vargas. He stayed instead of going with the U.S. national team, the under-19s. He chose to stay where Hawkins went, where Hawkins doesn't have a first role. So it should be Vargas starting. Like, he would have left if he's not going to start. Besides João Paulo, then you got Christian Roldan, you got Rusnak, the main guys. So a lot easier to predict. Hopefully there's not some huge shocks, but the big one is Pedro de la Vega. He it continues to be day to day and is still a doubt. But Leo Chu's trending to be available. I think Leo Chu will come off the bench. I don't think they'll start him right away. He's going to be a sub for the rest of the year. He'll start here or there, but it's usually going to be Jordan Morris, or it's really going to be interesting when De La Vega is fit and they kind of pull off the training wheels with him. Who's going to be the odd man out? Is it going to be Rui Diaz and Morris plays up top? Is Morris going to be a sub that we haven't seen very often? Is Rusnak his kind of iffy form to start the season? Is he going to be the guy that loses a spot? Christian Roldan. I think there's some serious toss-ups there. De La Vega will be a starter whenever he's fully fit. You don't pay all that money. Well, some teams do, but you don't pay all that money and for him to just not be a starter and kind of in that DP role. But that's kind of my thinking. Other than that, they are on the road, but they are playing Sporting Kansas City. I don't think there's been an easier kind of road test, but I think we could be shocked with Sporting Kansas City winning and like the era just continuing. Like, they just need to rip off the Band-Aid. They just need to pull a Pineda with Atlanta. Yeah, hey, you had that one win against Inter Miami. You go out, you lose. Yeah, we're done. We're cutting ties. So, and then to our last match, we got New England. We got New York Red Bulls. This is interesting because one team has a couple guys out. The other team has all the key guys out. We can just call it that. So let's start with the New England Revolution. So Ricardo, I'll get to them right after New England. New England's pretty easy to touch on, so we'll go to Cameron Harper right after. The only couple guys that are missing are two guys that haven't played, and then Barterovich, who has been a starter. With him being out, that's kind of a big loss just because they're missing Thomas Shankale and Nacho Heel is out. So they are missing those kind of like left and right mids. So that just means Dylan Barrera is pretty locked in. And I think it would be Boateng would be the other one that would start 75%. The other percent, he's actually opted not listed with the team. It'd be Penayotu. He's been playing with the second team. He has been called up to the first team. He's had a few appearances over the last 2 seasons, but I would give him a chance as well to play. So other than that, you got Kessler returning from the suspension. Again, Rodney's kind of in the doghouse. They don't really like him. Porter doesn't really like him, I should say. So other than that, pretty straightforward there. And then we'll get to the Cameron Harper question. So Harper, I have him at 70%. He's questionable with that hamstring. It's kind of a thing where I think it's a real toss-up between him and however you say, like Genjar, the youngster that hasn't looked great whenever he started. Harper could come off the bench. I think with all the people that are out, it just kind of it's tricky. You look at the list, Carlos Cornell, he's out. John Tolkien, Eiley, so Forsberg, all those guys are starters and key starters. And then Lewis Morgan was called up this morning, and that's another key starter. So Minnesota might be missing the most people, but the Red Bulls are missing like key guys. So just kind of a couple cliff notes. A lot of people are locked in due to this, and a lot of guys are just having different things. Reyes is the only other one that's kind of questionable. He's dealing with a foot injury that kept him out of the last match. So him and Harper are kind of in the same boat, but they're trending towards being available. It's just will they start? O'Connor was their super draft pick, and he's the other center back that could possibly go. Or, man, they're just running out of reinforcements, to say the least. Up top, it should be Manuel and Van Zier. Pretty straightforward. Wiki Carmona, he's going to start. Pretty straightforward there. And then Amaya and Edelman, the midfield. If you play like DFS or anything like that, or just kind of like a side note, Frankie Amaya should take all sets. So he's worth a look in case they get some set pieces, because he should take all of them. The guys he would kind of share with before Morgan left, it would be like a split between the two. Whenever Tolkien's gone and whenever Forsberg's gone, because Forsberg is the main taker. But once you drop down a little bit, it should be Frankie Amaya. So if you have him, he does get a significant boost kind of in my what I would think he would score. So he does have a little bit more upside than normal. I didn't have him in my article just because midfield, there's so many good midfield plays. But that's kind of I really like him. I don't own him, but that's a nice boost. So any questions on this short slate? This feels weird that we don't have a lot of matches here, but don't hate it. It was a lot easier to kind of get into it. It was a lot easier to kind of get through, 8 teams instead of getting through 28. But I do miss kind of all the teams being in action. Especially for my gallery, which we're going to get into sooner than later, because honestly, with this few of teams, there isn't a ton of questions because a lot of things kind of balance themselves out. With saying that, watch whenever Saturday comes along, we're just like, what is this lineup? What is this lineup? What is this lineup? It's the MLS. So all of that could happen, probably will happen. So any questions that you're just coming in? Let's go ahead through. Here's a good one. Anyone look at the prize pools to see where's the best to play this game week? Let's take a look at that. So if you take a look, I got to update this, but this is S_probabilities. If you're new to the stream, You can get a free trial. Slide my name. I get a little kickback from it. If you do the free trial, I don't know how much the paid version is, but it's you get way more out of it than you actually have to pay. And I'll actually go through exactly what Just He is looking for. So after it runs the script, so basically takes all this information. It takes a little bit to run the script, but you'll see all the things that it does. And one feature that I hadn't shown, because honestly, I didn't even know it was there, because I use the player database in my players tabs more than anything, the team fixtures, things like that. So I'm going to go to this game week info as soon as the script is done running. And we'll hit the chat while it is running. Cap 240 for its Hershey. Yeah. If, I've talked to some people, and buying Irwin doesn't seem like the worst. Like, he's a 0 cap. I don't think that's the worst idea in playing cap with like the other guys that I have. So I haven't done it yet. I don't like to buy this late in the kind of process. I should have bought him way before this because I knew he should be the starter. But yes, I'm hyped for Copa America. U.S. has a great team, can compete for the title at home. I don't think they can. They just don't really stack up that well with some of the big boys, in my opinion. Do you think Chris Richards would be one of the center back starters? He could be, outside chance. I haven't really gotten through. So like right now I'm just focusing on pure Euros, and just kind of getting, I'll have a Euros preview with a special guest. Not sure when we're going to do it, but we're going to do a live one at a nice time for everyone. So I'm really looking forward to it. But what I did with that is I did a kind of made power ratings based on a lot of different things like transfer market values, kind of overall, I don't know what you really call it, but a bunch of different things. Made composite ratings, found out kind of like the implied percent chance for each team to win, did their entire schedule, and then I did a Monte Carlo sim of 10,000 sim, and then kind of use a little bit of that, and it's really exciting for sure. Uruguay, the dark horses. Mexico, yeah, Mexico was horrible last night. That was brutal. Don't you believe Tim Melia is at risk for Pulskamp? So Pulskamp, there's conflicting information. He is training with the Olympic side as an alternate, so he was seen with them. Does that mean he won't be with the club on the weekend? I'm not exactly sure, but as of now, I'm not worried about it, but we could be kind of circling back around. This Narky does it really well. I haven't looked too much into it, but this is kind of the comment that why I'm not really looking forward to it. Yeah, I don't think US is going to win their group. I do think they'll come in second, which, great. But then you get Brazil. So that's tough. Canada have a nice side if they scrap too. Yeah, do you see Canada, though? That team looked, I know it's friendlies, but no good. Yeah, I'm excited for it. So this is a really cool screen. If everyone can see it. And I can't move me. Nah, it doesn't matter. All right. So this is basically as soon as you hit update all data, it goes here. It goes through your divisions, how many lineups are in each, and the reward chance. It does go through, and it does kind of go through all of them. It doesn't. It does, yeah. Let me see. It just tells you the total division, so that kind of changed a little bit. But if you look here, it has all the competitions and where the kind of overlay is. Yeah, unique. We don't need to really worry about that. But you can kind of sort by here, whichever one you look for. But let's sort by reward chance. Yeah, let's do that and make it descending. So I ignore super rare and rare, obviously, or super rare and unique. But under 23 limited, has the highest, if you have a squad, has the highest percent chance as far as rewards. There are 333 rewards, a little bit of US dollar cash, and the lineups are 2,200. So just about 15% there. So if you have an under 23 squad, it might be interesting in kind of getting into that. Under 23 rare, same kind of thing, 14.2%. That's probably where I'm going to be looking. But the only issue is I think I only have one midfielder, and it's Daniel Gazdag, and he probably won't start as far as I'm concerned in a friendly. So that kind of takes me out of under 23. But I would like to get there. So like if I was going to play, I would definitely prioritize under 23. And then you obviously card rewards is a little bit different. Cap 240 is always going to be down here just because it's really hard to get those. But if you're just trying to get the cash value, it makes a lot of sense to go after 240. So cool little screen there. That's for sure. Oh yeah, it's Hershey. Looks so well, and then blue in the second half. Yeah, maybe it's a little harsh. I just, to be honest, the CONCACAF sides, I just don't have a lot of hope. I do think, the big boys are going to be tough. Argentina, Brazil, and you can throw a lot of the other countries in there too, like Uruguay. It's going to be really tough. It's going to be really tough. But it's another tournament that, hey, things can happen. You could have some surprises. Yeah. Let's see what I got. This is just kind of like a really big bummer. Just because I don't really have players playing. Might have a keeper. Might. But again, I just don't know this information. I could do research more into this, but I don't know. And the midfielder position is the issue. But I do have Dylan Barrera. I forgot he's coming back. Moreno. I was thinking midweek. So under 23 makes a lot of sense. Let's see what I can do here. I got Argentina stack to clean up as they have some island games. So you can avoid Brazil and Uruguay stacks. Yeah. Interesting. That's the way they did the game weeks. I haven't really dove into it too much, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Am I competing? I don't really plan to, like, I haven't prioritized it at all. Just I'm gonna see what I have. It's the same thing with Euros. I'm not gonna prioritize it, but if I can put in a lineup, I'm gonna put in a lineup. With my gallery, I do have some pieces, but a lot of my galleries go into the Olympics, which is tough. Which is definitely tough. Ricardo, I like it. To be honest, I think they knocked it out of the park with a lot of the question marks and everything. I think it's a great structure. Like, it rewards you. It allows you to, if you want to take the, gamble a little bit, you can gamble. I'm not sure what I'm going to wait on. The star/tier 1, I know it might take a lot of time because, like, I don't get a lot of boxes to start with, to be completely honest. I've gone through for cash more, and it's really hard to kind of get boxes at times. But I don't know. It's going to be hard not to, pull the trigger whenever it gets to, like, I think it was a 350 mark, where you could have a tier 2. I think if you go down to the tier 3s, some of the tier 3s stink. But you can say the same thing about tier 2s. So I might dice roll whenever you get to the tier 2. I like that it kind of, whatever you're playing and wherever you get that box from, that goes into that prize pool. So that kind of makes it interesting. So, like, if I play a lot of, whenever under 23 is kind of introduced into it, because I think you'll get 3 entries. Yeah, you'll get 3 entries whenever Europe comes back. Like, I think that could be interesting, just try and grind out boxes that way. They play game week 2, and there's only 4 Copa games. Ugh. Huh. Interesting. That's very interesting. I like it. Everything I saw, I really actually like it, which going into it with, like, I don't know, some of it seemed cheesy to me, to be honest, but not bad. You got Japan versus Syria. Osaka did not start. So I want to go to that Japan game just to kind of talk myself through it. Always do your own research. Myanmar. The starter was Maikawa. And they did have some surprise kind of players. But if you look at the squad, the other goalie is Kosei Tani, and he seems like the third goalkeeper based on training news that we saw. And it was kind of in the first team reps, it was the guy that started, and then Osaka was the other one. So, yeah, Maikawa started. Thanks, Ronan. The entire lineup was cursed. They're already qualified. Yeah, so that's another thing. But you would have to think that Osaka would get a chance, but could be wrong. I'm probably going to roll them out anyway, just because, I mean, what country are they playing? Syria? I know they don't have a lot to play for, but one thing that I will say, definitely going to look, an hour before lock, because these percentages are a little bit better. Kubo was rested. That was the one that I was thinking there's a big name that didn't play. David, how we doing? Good to see you. And then Hadel, 70% to start. I know he didn't start. Japan should do a Bilbao, play Osaka 60 minutes, take him out. I would sign me up for that. That would be amazing. But if we take a look at Hadel, is the other option. Austria played Serbia, and Pence played. The other goalkeeper on the roster, if we go down here, I don't even know who it is. Is it this guy? I don't know. Lol? I don't know. Lol. There we go. Thank you. Couldn't get there. Yeah, MLS talk was earlier. But if you have any questions, let me know. Kobe have a cup game on the 12th, but likely the backup. Interesting. In the Asian qualifiers, whoever ranks highest in coefficient gets an advantage for next round. So Australia, so they don't want to lose. That's good to know. I had no idea with that. There's some crazy stuff with all the different competitions and everything going on. So as far as Austria, I don't see Hadel being like the starter for Euros. That's for sure. I don't even think he's in kind of the ballpark, but that would be a great one to have just in case. Maybe an injury. I don't know. But as far as their matchup against Switzerland, clearly not as good as the old no odds here. So if I can play him, Osaka is going to be the guy. Australia also played a weird side. Now I'm hesitant to use the big scoring cards I have. Yeah, these kind of like not only friendlies. I know I've said friendlies the whole time, but like the international qualifiers and stuff, like there's just so much randomness involved with these that it's just so hard to predict who's going to be who. Also in the Surrey inside, they do have certain countries, which is also great. So if you kind of look through, with as many countries that are playing, we just don't have guys to do all of them. But most of the kind of main countries are in there. You got Spain, Netherlands, Italy, Mexico. So there are some countries in there, which is nice. Nightmare fuel. Yeah. If you get 5 starters, that's all you're looking for, really. Just a dream. This is also good too. The community part, there's some great people that do the community lineups, and Sir Joel's one of them as well for Australia. Like obscure nations are tough. Like he knows a lot about Australia, which is that's really big. What is your favorite for the Euros? Please say my country. I've gone through, like, are you saying your favorite who I'm rooting for, or favorite who I think is going to win? because those are two different countries. Yeah, whenever Euros comes around, there's going to be people. There's going to be people for sure. Whenever Euros comes around, you can say that. So let's go to Euros 20. Might as well just go to the wiki. So you'll see whenever I did my simulation, the teams that my simulation liked. Germany at home, obviously, is interesting. They have a good squad. Some of these groups, it's just tough to see any of the other squads winning, but Germany has let down before. I'm not going to go through each one, but just kind of highlighting a couple. I do, it's really hard, but I do think England's going to win this year. That feels terrible to say just because it never is coming home, but maybe it is coming home. It just, this group doesn't scare me. But the team that I'm rooting for, I like to watch Netherlands for one, and the other one is Ukraine. I think Ukraine's a dark horse. Not to win the whole thing, but I think they could make a run. Like if you think back to Iceland, whenever they made a run, no one saw that coming. I think we'll see something like that. England has a curse. Yeah, I mean, I know they have the curse. I know everything, but yeah, there's a lot of hate already on it. I love it. It just, I don't know, going through the roster and everything. I know it's the same, but they have that experience under them. That's something they haven't had before, but still have Southgate as their coach. So who knows? Dark horse is Turkey. Turkey could be interesting. Arda Güler could have a crazy run. Not Portugal. I like watching Portugal, but I think Portugal will be good. That's for sure. If you look at their group, it's hard to really see anyone beating them. Turkey is a dark horse. I agree. Georgia has pieces, but the depth is an issue in a kind of quick turnaround, games every 4 days. And Czech Republic has some pieces, but they leave a lot. And sorry for the jinx, Lewis. Hungary also a dark horse. Yeah, Hungary is a decent side. They have some Sabazale. They have solid players for sure. The Swiss team always comes to play. It does seem like, I don't know. Spain always slept on decent players in each position. Yeah, for sure. Some of these, I feel like each group has one team that's better than the others and have a really crazy upside, except for Group B. Like you have Spain, Croatia, and Italy. Luckily, 3 sides get through. Albania, I just feel like it's going to be really tough for them. They're probably going to go 0-3. You would think each team wins. But there's a lot to like. Croatia is kind of aging. You have Luka Modric, kind of his swan song. Italy, they're defending champs. Then they missed the World Cup. They've been kind of all over the place. And then Spain has a lot of things to like. Ricardo says, yeah. Full of kids, but yeah. Free kick goals. Yeah. We'll love to see it. I love these types of competitions. You get to watch every match, like just one after another. It's beautiful. There's just nothing really bad. Obviously the World Cup, but like these tournaments make it so fun. I love international competitions. I love club soccer, club football. But this kind of gets me excited, and the length of time, it just kind of every day you have some of the top players in the world playing. You have some super crazy surprise that happens every single year. But yeah, everything on the line, super competitive for sure. Euroball's better quality than the World Cup. Yeah. The Euro sides are good, but getting that South America and some different countries. I want to know how to watch Copa America. I'm not sure how the world is going to watch it. I believe Fox in the US has rights. Someone could definitely tell me on that one. How crazy are European hours? With it being in Germany, what it might be like 6 hours ahead of me? 6 hours ahead of me, I think. So it kind of depends the time frames. So I guess like a noon kick would be a 6 a.m. for me. I don't know. Are there noon kicks? I know I see the times here, but are these times? I would yeah, these are all in Germany time zone. So I should be able to watch all of them. I mean, I will watch all of them, I should say. I always make it whether I have to get up early. It's usually like midday, though, at my time, I'm pretty sure. I'm just hoping 4 years I can get tickets with Euros and United Kingdom. That'd be great. Sir Joel says 11:30, 2:30 a.m. and 5 a.m. for me. Man, that's brutal, Joel. That is brutal. Whenever the World Cup comes, I'm definitely going to go to a match. Try to, that's for sure. Games will be like 6, 9, and 12. Perfect for the workday, West Coast. And then I'm 3 hours ahead of him. So it'll be 9, 12, and 3. So that's like the perfect time frame for me. That's for sure. Which is nice. Like these big tournaments, they do make it pretty nice. Like the time, it's kind of prime time where it's being played. And it's nice for kind of the other people watching, which is great. De Kuiper is great to see him play, but he's probably not going to start back to back. Nacio came off the bench last match. Simon, what's happening? Which team do you think surprised? Ukraine is my surprise pick. I don't know if it's that big of a surprise, but I think Ukraine has some nice pieces for sure. Do you follow this type of competition a long time? I mean, the World Cup, you have to go all the way back. Like, I kind of got into soccer a little bit in like high school. So it was kind of behind where, many of you, I'm sure. But like, the World Cup was big. I'm trying to think when, like, you look back and where was I during like the 2006 World Cup was kind of like my first kind of the Landon Donovan against Algeria. Then 2010 was a big one. Like my family had a trip to Cedar Point. It's an amusement park. And we had to go back for the U.S. Ghana match. We had to go back to the hotel room to watch it. Just like memories that you know exactly where you were. Whenever I was in college, the U.S. Belgium match where Tim Howard made 17 saves. Yeah, you gotta love it. That's for sure. Oh, you have tickets, Lewis? That's awesome. That's amazing. Lewis, how far of a trip is it from where you are to Germany? Like, I never really have a reference of how far that is. Like, I have an idea, but I don't. Oh, that's for someone else. Sorry. Josie Altidore and Donovan era. USA eliminating Portugal in 2014. Yeah, there's some great moments for sure. Oh man. Yeah, international. I mean, so this under 23 is just we don't know who's going to play. So let's see my players. Under 23. It's a 2-hour flight. Okay. Interesting. All right, so we got some predictions in here. So people are doing predictions. That's nice. Yeah, it doesn't look good for any of my players. So that's not ideal, to say the least. Zayd Romero probably is going to be. He started the last match. Yeah, that'll be. I mean, it'd be nice if some of these Belgian players would play against Luxembourg, that's for sure. And I have Doku at forward, so think I might put. I feel like Zayed Romero might be the easiest one, but like 100% for Tavon Gray to start against Dominica. Like if he starts, that'd be phenomenal. Obviously, he played the full 90 against the Dominican Republic. So I guess in theory he could start again, and that would be kind of a big one. Yeah, Gray is kind of balling lately, that's for sure. I like the Damian Lowe played as a defensive mid. He was able to play 45 minutes. Yeah, with this squad, I mean, why not? It's always funny to see like Dominican Republic. Dominican Republic. Valdez didn't start. A lot of people were thinking Valdez would start. He plays for Houston. He's like the third keeper on Houston. Sorry, sidebar. It's always fun to see like, oh, I didn't realize like Junior Firpo played for Dominican Republic. Like some of these teams, it's just it's crazy. So as far as Gray with Jamaica, Jamaica's the fastest team in the world. They should be, right? If you ever seen Cool Runnings, yes, I have 2 Blakes, as you could see earlier, if you saw earlier. So that's been brutal. I need Blake back as well. Let's throw Gray in there. I mean, Dominica, he's got a decisive in him. If he starts, hopefully he starts. Again, you might see this, and then you might see something very different tomorrow. And then Barrero is going to get started over Moreno. I know Moreno could be a good play, but Barrero is pretty set on starting. I'm going to see the 100 finals at the Olympics. For sure, the U.S. will be in front of Jamaica. That'd be interesting. I think Blake is back for Copa. That's probably going to be the plan. You know, he's going to be just back in time. Miraculously, look at him. He's playing for Copa, which would be all right. Then that would give me 2 keepers. But also, like, do I really want to play him when he's obviously going to concede? It's just a lose-lose for Blake holders, in my opinion. And then if we knew Doku would start, that'd be great. And just kind of a heads up. Hopes that I need him for my rare lineup only option. Yeah, that's where I am too. I don't think I have any keepers that are playing. Not for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was. How confident are you with under 23? Osaka is a risk for sure. 0 confidence. Did you see my other option? Nicholas Hadel? Yeah, we're just hoping somehow something happens. Yeah, I hope we get information too. I would think Clark's he should be training to be back, but we haven't heard anything. Should be training to be back. Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Yeah, if Doku started, that'd be great. I might just roll the dice because even if he comes off like he won the penalty, like let's take a look at Belgium's lineup again with friendlies and against Luxembourg with an actual tournament coming up. I mean, he played 45 minutes. Can you pencil him in for 45 minutes in a start? I don't know. You see all the subs that they made. They made 6 subs at halftime. So that's really tough. Ricardo, I'm on the same boat here, but like 45 minutes against Luxembourg is probably better options than a lot of the players I have. Like, I'm not going to waste time. This is for the extra. Like the extra position, I probably like Doku. Just based on my other options. Sure, I could play Romero. I need to look into his situation to see if he's going to start. but they're playing Gremio, and that's not a good matchup whatsoever. As you can see, 55%. That'll be a tough one for him. He should start, right? Because what was this? That's an Argentinian team, isn't it? The strongest. Yeah, he's played kind of the other competitions. I don't know. So yeah, probably 45 minutes, but his 45 minutes is probably better. It'd be nice if we knew if Kuiper's playing. Will he play? He played the full 90, so that's kind of why I don't think he'll start. But at the same time, I don't know. Ideally, we'll just go with this and then kind of go from there. Who to captain? This team kind of stinks, but this is basically all I can field, which is not great. But under 23, I feel like is interesting. Yeah, Nacho should start, to be honest, but he's a risk. With him not starting the last one, he should, but like you said, definite risk. Reliability is low on this sub appearance, so that could turn around. They are playing Croatia, but if he's in the lineup, he'll score pretty well. I just think Gray, if he starts, Dominica is terrible. So I mean, Jamaica should win 4 or 5-0, in my opinion, against them. But don't know. So as you can see here, not a lot of hope this week. Hopefully you guys have better lineups than I do. I'm ready for international break to be over for like the MLS sides. Like if this is a full MLS slate, I would be psyched because I, would have most of my gallery available, other than my Philly team is completely gone. Yeah, this is interesting to see what you think, because I was putting together so my simulation that I did, I put like a starting lineup, like their ideal starting lineup, then the bench plays a role as well. I wasn't sure on Nacio. I have Pepe in there as a starter, but Nacio makes sense. He started in the past with Portugal. And Antonio Silva, I just think he's a step off. I think he's pretty good, but I think he's just like a half a step off Inacio. 80% to start? Yeah. Why not? Server data. I see 92. SRD. Laird would be mad if you used SRD. It's SD. Unless that's someone else. Oh, here we go. For me, it should be. Try to think. Yeah, that's exactly how I have it. Other than just based on what I've seen, I didn't have Inacio in there. It is one of these weeks. Yeah, this is like, I feel like the next lineup that I make, I'll just throw it in a random competition, maybe cap 240, or maybe even this one in cap 240. Like, does that make sense? But then again, like, I'm not going to hit the score with this, because like I feel like under 23, yeah, you could have some high scorers, but there's going to be so many kind of deadlocks of just people not playing, things like that. So let's kind of look. Let's look at pick scores and under 23. Just see, I always like to see where the keeper situations are. I know people haven't aged out yet, but just kind of see the keepers that we have. Diego Costa makes a lot of sense. So, I mean, we do have a few guys, but we don't have that many keepers. So, like, let's say Osaka starts, you got to think that against Syria, he'll keep a clean sheet. I mean, maybe he doesn't, but if he can get a clean sheet, that's going to set you apart from a lot of players in the competition. But yeah, there's some funny names here. That's for sure. Like, it's tough to see De Kuiper up here and not play him. It's for one, but there's just significant risk there. I have a lot of these players. So just kind of going through here, it's like that's why under 23 is kind of, if you can get 5 starters, you're probably getting a reward, which is always nice. Ivic or Pantemis for better clean sheet odds. I know both are basically 1%. So if you just go here, let's go to challengers because that'll separate it out real nicely for us. And Ivic, 25%, or is that what you're saying, 1% between the two of them, or are you just asking me? 25% for him, and who's your other one? Pantemis. 24%. So you're just saying 1%. Oh, you're asking me. I got you now. Probably play Ivic against a Red Bulls team that's missing a bunch of guys. Yeah, they're both horrible. I wanted okay, but I don't know if he'll start. But also the Greece goalkeeper. Yeah, again, international is just not really my thing. Lineups wise, at least Jesus Ferrer's back. Yes, that is great for now. No bad juju on him. No bad juju. And as far as captaining, I'm going to captain Jesus Ferrer just with all the guys that are out. So that's a 67. I'm sure I'll change this for later. Then I'll throw a cap 240 in there. Just with the leftovers. I mean, I guess I could throw Hadel in there just in case he starts. But like that 50 score is not great. To Kuiper to play in there. Do have like Andrade. Yeah, it's pretty bleak to say the least. I could play Moreno. Ooh, 88% on. Do we have a Hungary guy in here? Didn't think so. But I know Gazdag, he didn't play a minute. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he didn't play at all. So maybe, just maybe. Get Nigeria guy in praise starts. 5 stars in under 23. Yeah. I don't think I'll get 5 stars in under 23, but I think the upside's there. Some of these like off game weeks in under 23, like you can score 240 points and get a reward. I've done it before. I got like, what did I get? I think I got 4th place with like 290 points the one week. I won a Seshko a while back, but it was like one of those one-offs. See, 71, he played the full match. I mean, Gazdag could play. There's a chance. So, I mean, his cap's not great. So, like, Moreno makes more sense because he's going to play. I know he's going to play unless something crazy happens. But, yeah, it's interesting. So, like, these guys, I just don't have cap guys that make sense. And, like, this is tough. Like, Baraktarovic is clearly not with the team, but 53% have him starting. This is the first game week that I actually did my lineup projections. I usually don't have enough time, but I did do the MLS. I only did MLS because I would just like to help. But I went through and did all of this. So I did my part to kind of boost up. You love seeing league specialists. Maybe someday I'll be a league specialist. But yeah, don't even have another forward because I'm playing double forward in under 23 as of now. Evan Nielsen, no. Velasquez out. Barabo, wouldn't think he would start for Israel. He doesn't get like any minutes, but I don't know. Maybe throw him in there, get that utility out of him. Yeah, it's just I just want to put these in. I'm not going to save it, but just curious what percent, if it even falls under the cap. I should be able to do it under the cap. If I throw like Yamar in there. Jonathan, let's go. Get him in there. That's great. You love to see it. What do we got left? 60 left. Can I just double Gosdog here? Let's play the new version one. Just curious what with the percentages, what if I even get above 0% chance. So yeah, we'll run with this. I probably Romero. Romero makes sense. Or Moreno on the road. I'll play the defender. Why not? 2%. Let's captain Gosdog because I don't know. 2% chance to hit 270. Yeah, that's a terrible team. All right. We need a full slate. Let's take a look at Belgium just to see. Doku 70%. So are Graphs is the expert here. Debasta Kuiper. That's good info. Won't start or even play this game. That's good. Cool. Might still be outer spar. Expect more or less strengths if possible. Cool. 70% here. Looks great. Yeah, this looks very similar to what the World Cup team is going to look like at many positions. Interesting. Lewis is in here. He's the England guy. Let's see what he has for England. Not lucky enough to have any of that, but as you can see, his notes are way longer than mine. So this notes here, I think this is the best part of Server Inside, is having the notes right here, same screen, that you can't see past the notes. The only question is, are you going to read them? So that the amount of like pings in the Discord it can be a little bit annoying. I'm glad to help, but whenever the answer is probably here if you just read it. So like if I would ask Lewis, hey Lewis, Jordan Pickford, what's the deal on him? Pickford should be fine right there. It's Hershey. You like that edition? Yeah, I just think it's like it's all on the same screen. It shows you. You can kind of say exactly what you mean and kind of go in more in depth instead of like whenever I play Sharper, it was nice to have it, but it kind of like all ran together and then like it would get hidden under someone else's comment. So that's kind of a big thing involved in this. Just kind of as we end, if you have any questions, let me know. Just curious about some of these other predictions of teams, what we're going to see. I did move my Guardiola before he went off, so that was good. I always know how to sell the bottom, that's for sure. Denmark against Norway looks relatively close to what they'll look like. Italy. See some rotation there. Mexico. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, Italy are very boring. I agree on that one. Cesar Montes, Alvarez, Jimenez. I wish Vifer was healthy enough to play. It's kind of a bummer. I like watching Netherlands. It's a bummer that he is out with injury and isn't fit enough to play because it kind of gives him an extra thing. Yeah, I will be doing Predictorify, however you say it, as well. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing that as well. Interesting to see kind of how that looks as well. I know it's kind of going to be the same thing in two places, but I think it's good. Spain. Yamal, he's going to be fun to watch. Be a similar starting 11s. Starting 11 similar to that of the Euro. That's good to see. Yeah, this is kind of what I had whenever I wrote these in. Believe. Daniel Olmo. Yeah, interesting. And Rodri. Yeah, for sure. Boy, I wish I had a Rodri. And then one of the dark horses was Turkey that was talked about earlier. Estimated squad to give you an idea. Please check back before the deadline. Great nets. Great nets. Arda Guler. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything else that can really hit on. If you have any questions, by all means, let me know before we hop off here. Appreciate everyone joining. I feel like, it's still an hour and a half, but I feel like the stream, there wasn't as much to talk about, but I like that we talked about a little bit of Euros. I hope everyone joins me whenever I do the Euro show, and I can botch so many names and really make a fool out of myself, out of my element. But and I can't wait for people to just say, hey, you should stay in your lane. But I'm ready for international. We'll do the same thing for Copa America. So it's going to be kind of like a thing where we do each major tournament and also the Olympics. So breakdowns. I'll show and share my simulation that I ran, which is going to be interesting. Then we got to go from there. So this is what I'm talking about. Like, I'm not even going to bother. Oh, well, I will just for sheer laughs. But the Georgian names, just typing them in, I had so much like trouble typing them in alone. Man, it's going to be me speaking a lot of American and sounding like a dumb American. So if there's nothing else, we'll end it on that. Appreciate everyone coming in. Good luck this game week. Hopefully it goes well. Hopefully you fight those DMPs, and hopefully we get back to kind of more normal of the MLS schedule. But now we're going to have all these guys missing. So that striker from Mets. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. It's not going to be great. But good luck, everyone. And we'll see you next game week.